enticing. But then I broke my neck and became paralyzed, and suddenly hardships had a way of forcing me to think about heavenly glories above, where I would indeed one day get a new body, hands that would work and feet that would walk. And to me it was so hopeful to know that life in a wheelchair would not be my only life. Because when you lose something down here on earth, you can't help but revive your hope of not only getting it back, but so much more in heaven.
The mere thought of perfect healing and everlasting joy inspires extraordinary feelings of both hope and anticipation. And through the ages, man has always wondered that if somewhere beyond the physical universe an eternal paradise really does exist, then what would it be like to call it home? It is a mystery beyond the scope of human understanding. Yet the Bible is filled with images and clues.
And I saw a white horse whose rider was called Faithful and True. On his robe his name is written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
The Scriptures reveal that following Christ's return to earth, a millennium of peace and Satan's banishment to hell, God will then complete his creation of a perfect environment he will share forever with those who love him. According to Israel's ancient prophets, the foundations of this heavenly kingdom will be established when the very fabric of the earth and universe are first torn asunder.
O Lord God, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you will endure. Yes, they will all grow old like a garment. Like a cloak you will change them, and they will be changed.
A day is coming when I believe this earth will be renovated by fire, somehow be purified. And in that purification, in that fiery conflagration, a new earth. God will create a new earth out of this old earth.
The heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up.
The prophet Isaiah called this ordeal the great and terrible day of the Lord. To many, the spiritual implications of these seemingly devastating events are unmistakable. For as the earth and the universe are destroyed by fire, so too are the final remnants of sin and death. Then, in a stunning act of creation, God will fashion a new and perfect universe and planet that will exist for all eternity.
For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered. But be glad and rejoice forever in what I will create.
When we talk about the life hereafter, we're describing some environment that's designed for man and man designed for it. It's a custom fit. It'll be an environment in which we can live with God and God can live with us, and the new heaven and the new earth will be refashioned so that this living environment is perfect for both of us, for Him and for us as human beings.
Attempts to picture what heaven will be like are invariably tied to the physical glories of our planet as it now exists. For we tend to imagine paradise in the context of the natural world that surrounds us. Yet, the Scriptures suggest that though the new universe and earth may well contain mountains, rivers, and clouds, the magnificence of eternity will far surpass anything we can now comprehend.
Earth is but a dim reflection of the glories in heaven. The Rocky Mountains, the Himalayas, the Grand Canyon and its majestic vista. I mean, all these things are shadowy, half-toned images of the real mountains, the real splendor, the real rivers, the real glaciers, everything that one day will be much more real. Earth does a pretty good job of whetting our appetite for it, but heaven's going to take it a giant step further.
While the physical glories of heaven are overwhelming to contemplate, the Bible also alludes to even greater joys that may await us on an experiential level.
Everything we've ever wanted to do in a righteous dimension we will be able to do. If you've always wanted to sing like a bird or paint like an artist or travel the galaxies like a space person, I think all of those things will be available to us to be done to an exponent of X. We have no way of even imagining. In fact, the Apostle Paul quotes an Old Testament prophetic passage which says, "Eye has never seen, and ear has never heard, nor has it ever entered into the heart or imagination of man what God has prepared for those who love him." So the description of this new world is one that's so immense and glorious that we couldn't even begin to describe it. We would have no frame of reference from experience, even if our words could technically describe what we were seeing.
For a brief moment, 1900 years ago, a brilliant light was cast upon the mystery of heaven. In a vision from God, the Apostle John actually gazed into eternity and beheld the new universe and earth, and with them a third dimension of paradise, a remarkable city foretold by the Old Testament prophets that would descend through the clouds toward the new earth. Here it is written, God will dwell forever with his people. It is called the New Jerusalem.
Then an angel carried me away to a high mountain and showed me the holy city, the New Jerusalem. It shone with the glory of God, and its brilliance was like that of a very precious jewel.
Both the Old Testament and New Testament prophecies indicate that this indeed will be the dwelling place of the true and living God. This New Jerusalem, this heavenly city. Jesus said he was going to leave his followers to go and prepare a place for them. And he said, in my Father's house there are many rooms. So I kind of portray this holy city, this heavenly city that comes down, I believe personally, to earth as the crown jewel of residence for all those faithful people that believe in God from all the centuries.